Okay. طيب. Again, EL117, and this is the course kit. Kit means some kind of container where people put stuff and things. It's like a box. So what we have in the Pandora box that we call EL117, we have lots of things. Again, mute your mic, please. Somebody is having her or his mic on. Please mute your mic. Okay, good. So again, we have an online book. Okay, and it's called Writing Now, or Right Now, actually. And then we have the answer key for this kind of book. And then we have the course guide. Actually, the course guide is what we are reading from right now. Okay. So when I talk about writing, I mean academic writing. And there is obviously,
Doctor,
yeah,
I can't see this.
what? So if
I can't see.
okay, so if everybody can see it, and I need people to confirm that, then you have a problem. Okay, so can you all see it?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
then the problem is on your
Yes.
end. Okay, perhaps you need to go out and come back. Okay. Again, I was talking about writing, and I was talking about the kind of writing that we are addressing in this course, and this is called academic writing. Academic writing means that we're going to focus on, helping you produce writings that you can use in academia, in university, in college. Okay. So is it different from the other writings that we make? We need to first of all talk about the different types of writing that we have in life. If you write text messages, for example, using the mobile, if you're writing WhatsApp message, this is, by the way, writing. Okay. And it has its own style, right? The letters that we used to send to our perhaps family members in other countries, this was also writing. The emails that you send from time to time to your colleagues or to your teacher is, or your boss at work, if you happen to be working, this is also writing. Business writing, if you work, if you have a job and you have to kind of send business letters, this is also writing. Okay. So we have different types of writing depending on the context, depending on where we are, whether we're talking about the workplace, whether we're talking about casual friendly writing, or whether we're talking about the university. If we talk about universities and colleges, so the writing that we do, the writing that we produce is called academic writing. And the word academic means academia. Academia means university or college level. Okay. So how different is this type of writing? It is different because it has rules and conventions that you have to follow and observe. Are they difficult to observe? No, it's just that you don't get to learn them. Okay, you just write casually without thinking, and then when you write this way, your writing is not organized, your writing is full of errors. So what is it that we're going to do? We're going to raise your awareness about the errors that you make, so that next time when you write, you try to avoid those errors. Am I clear enough so far? Hello. Okay, good.
Yes.
Yes, doctor.
Okay,
Yes.
thanks. Okay, so my pace, is my voice loud enough?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, is my language clear enough?
Yes.
Should
Yes.
it's slow enough?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
You can
That's
just
good.
point out in everything we say with the writing on the board.
Oh, I'm not sure I heard you correctly. Can you repeat that?
Can you point with the mouse on what
I
you
will. I
read?
will. I'm talking casually now.
Okay,
I
okay.
haven't started. I'm just chit chatting with you. Okay.
Okay.
So again, it's academic writing that we're doing. And if I say academic writing, it means that I'm talking about conventions and rules that apply to academic writing, but do not apply to other types of writing. Okay. So in order to be able to write uh, academically, and by academically I mean in a professional way from the academic point of view, we have to follow the rules that I told you about. Okay, so writing is like driving, is like cooking. You know, all these skills, can you learn them without doing them, without practicing them? I'm asking you.
No.
No.
Right?
We can't.
So in order
No,
to
we
be
can't.
yes, in order to be a good cook, you walk into the kitchen and you do stuff with your hands. Sometimes you're successful, and some other times you're not very successful. Am I right?
Yes.
This is called
Yes, you're right.
practice. This is called practice and experience, right? You don't uh, come out with excellent dishes from the first time. It takes time, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
same applies to driving, right? Most of us know how to drive. Did you drive that well from the very first time?
No.
No
Uh,
way.
th-
No.
yeah, what did it take?
No.
It takes a
Of
lot
course
of,
not.
it took a lot of practice, right? You
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
follow conventions and rules. You have to do this. You have to do that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It applies to writing. And this is actually what we should do. It's not about speaking about writing. It's about writing. It's about writing, and it's about making errors and mistakes, and then we look at them, talk about them, so that next time when you write, you try to avoid the errors that we have highlighted. So our writing class should be more or less like a workshop. You know what a workshop is? Of course, you know what a workshop is. So what do we have in a workshop? We have two individuals, right? We have two people, right?
Yes.
We have the master, the master mechanic, right? The master carpenter, right? And we have the apprentice. You know what the apprentice or who the apprentice is? They call it the student. I mean, Aramco has a program like this. It's called the student apprenticeship or something like this. It's like you know, the sabi. We call him in Arabic al sabi. You know what the sabi is? In Arabic, in workshops, sometimes you have a small boy, right, and who is always under the car fixing stuff, and then his master tells him to do this and not to do that. Okay, writing is a workshop. Make no mistake about it. And you are um, the apprentice, and over time you will become the master. When you finish, when you keep writing, when you try to avoid your errors, eventually you will be the master. You will be able to write well. Okay. So writing, like I said, is very important because it's, I wouldn't say it's a challenging skill, but it is a very important skill. Why do we need writing in university? If we have, if we can talk, for example, you would ask, why do I need writing if I can also talk about what I have learned, if I can also talk about what I studied? Unfortunately, in most of the universities, not here in Saudi Arabia alone, and the other parts of the world, most of the assessment is paper based, is in writing, right? We don't have many interviews, right? A class like this, in order to check how good you are in writing, we don't conduct interviews for you, right? Do we? We don't, right? So writing, we don't. I mean, it's Okay, go ahead.
Doctor,
Yeah, go
what
ahead.
introduce you to conversation type structure of academic writing? What?
Just wait, okay? I thought you're contributing something to what I'm saying. Just wait. We're going to explain everything. Let me finish my story first, okay? So what I'm trying to say is you use writing or you need writing for assessment. And by assessment, I mean evaluation, I mean quizzes and exams, okay? So you can have beautiful ideas, right? You can I mean you kept studying stuff over and over again, and you know every single bit of it, but you go to the exam, okay, but your writing is poor, so you get a bad mark. And this is a question that people keep asking. I mean, during exams and after them, people come to you and say, how come you gave me a bad mark? Right? Don't you sometimes ask questions like these?
Yes.
Okay, so it's obviously not about the knowledge. You have very good knowledge of the subject, right? But your writing defeats you, right? Your writing frustrates you. Your writing is bad, okay? And your writing is the carrier, okay? In order for me to understand, to get to know that you have studied very well, I have to read what you wrote. If your writing is bad, so obviously you get a bad mark, right? Do you guys agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's okay. That's interesting. Okay. So what is it that we're going to do? What is it that we're going to develop together? Okay, we're going to, of course, develop strategies that we use before we write, strategies that we use during writing, and strategies that we even do after we finish writing. But isn't that strange that we're going to do stuff after we write? Do you find it strange? Do you find it strange that we're going to do stuff before we write?
No.
No,
No.
because we.
Yes. Okay. I mean the gentleman. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's
Because.
your name? What's your name? Can I know your name, please?
And, yes, of course. Nawaf.
Nawaf. Nawaf what?
Nawaf al Khair.
Okay, Nawaf. Go ahead.
Because we will need to write first, then see where our wrongs are, then we will apply the strategies you mentioned.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So Nawaf is saying, yeah, it is natural that after we finish writing, we go over what we write and then we edit and proofread. Have you ever heard the word edit? Editing, editor.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
that's interesting. What do they mean? They mean after we finish writing, we go over what we have written and then check for errors. Okay, errors could be grammar, could be spelling, could be structure, and could be the ideas and the arrangement of the ideas themselves. Right? Okay, so this is what we call the post writing stage. And post in Latin means after. So 3 stages, it's a process, you know, whenever we talk about a process, we talk about stages and steps. Okay, so writing is a process, okay, that starts with that actually starts before the writing act itself, okay, and it never ends with it. So you have um, before writing, and this is what we call pre, and the word pre in Latin also means before. So you have pre-writing, you have while and during writing, and you have post-writing. Post means after, okay? So let's talk about every and each stage. Okay, when we talk about pre-writing, what does this stage involve? What do you think? So it's pre-writing and it's
Int-
before writing.
Introduction.
think.
Okay,
Can I talk?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, I think it contains brainstorming ideas and maybe using some graphic organizers or just collecting our thoughts and then start to write
Okay,
after that.
excellent. May I know your name, please?
My name is Hala Laham.
Hala.
Yes,
Ya
Hala.
Hala. Okay.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, this is exactly what I had in mind. What Hala is saying, or Hala is saying, is excellent. So
Hello.
I'm sorry. I'll take some time to get used to it. So I'm
No
sorry.
problem, no problem.
Okay, again, so it's pre-writing, and what does the pre-writing stage involve? It involves brainstorming. Brainstorming means that you try to generate and come up with as many ideas as you possibly can. So whether these ideas are relevant or a little bit irrelevant. And by the way, relevance in writing is very important. Relevance means I don't ask you to write about football, for example, and you write about baseball or perhaps volleyball, or okay. So this is called relevance. Okay, so if I ask you to write about the Arab Open University and you don't go and write about King Saud University, right? So
Yes.
if you write about King Saud University, this is called irrelevant, right? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, this is okay. So again, so the pre-writing stage would involve the idea of brainstorming and also the idea of research. So you brainstorm. When you brainstorm, it means that you depend on your own mental resources. Whatever you remember about the subject, whatever experiences you have the subject, okay? So, but what happens if the subject is about something that you never studied and you never read about? If it's, for example, about global warming, and global warming is not part of your specialization, you're perhaps young and you don't know what it means. So what is it that you're going to do? You cannot brainstorm in this case. In this case, you're going to do research, or some research. Where are you doing research?
On the internet?
You can use the internet. You can you can read books. You can read, you can read newspapers, right?
Yes.
So this is called doing research. Okay, so again, the pre-writing stage would involve brainstorming and also doing research. Okay, so now that you have done your research, now that you have brainstormed, you came up with you have before you write, you need to filter these ideas, because obviously you have so many ideas and you cannot use all of them. Can you use all of them?
No.
Of course not. I
Sure.
mean, in this case, you're not writing an essay. You're writing perhaps a PhD dissertation, رسالة دكتوراه ولا حاجة, right? So at this stage, we don't ask you to write رسالة دكتوراه ولا حاجة. We ask you to write an essay, and the maximum would be 300, 400 words. Okay, that's why you need to filter and sort out the ideas that you came out with doing research and brainstorming. Okay, you filter them, and then depending what are going to be your criteria. You also have to have measures in order to check whether this idea is okay, I'll take it, or this idea is not okay, I leave it. Okay, also the idea of relevance. Remember the idea of relevance?
Yes.
Okay, so you're doing research, and you're doing research, for example, on online learning, for example, and
So
online and online
sorry, can I talk?
Can I finish first?
Sure.
Okay. So you're doing research, or I mean, the topic that you are doing research about is online. learning. So you go to the internet, you use your own resources, and you come up with so many ideas. Again, you cannot squeeze them all in one essay. You have to dismiss some of them. You have to leave some of them based on how relevant these ideas are. Okay, so now that you have dismissed whatever you think is irrelevant, you end up having 2 to 3 ideas that you're going to use in your essay. So before I move to the while and the during writing part, I would like to listen to what your colleague has to say. Somebody wanted
Yes,
to say something.
yes.
Go ahead.
You said,
If you're talking for the first time, and this applies to everyone, whenever you come to the mic, you need to introduce yourself, and then you go ahead with whatever ideas you have.
okay, I'm Ala Yusuf,
Mm.
and I'm asking, you said pre-writing and before writing, and the idea of relevance.
Mm.
So when I do a brainstorming and everything, do I have the idea of relevance means that I point out the important stuff for the thing that I
Yes.
write?
Yes. Ala, whenever you start, you don't.
Ula.
Ola, I'm sorry. Whenever you start, Ola, you don't care about this idea of relevance. Okay, you start brainstorming, and whatever comes with your mind, you would put on the page. For example, if you're writing something, if you're making a draft or something, okay, you also do research based on the idea of relevance, but you're going to come up with ideas that are not too relevant. So all of them are relevant, but you're going to use the most relevant of them. How about that? Are you getting the idea?
Yes.
Because I mean, we all, when we do research, and we, of course, we exert efforts, we get tired and everything, and we have so many ideas, and well, sometimes we feel sad. Should I leave all of that? Yes, you have to take this decision that you cannot write everything. Okay, you have done a lot of work, you have done a lot of research, but you still need to minimize the ideas. You cannot use them all. Okay, right. Now that we are done with pre-writing, we move to the second stage, which is the while and the during writing stage. This is where you're going to take the ideas that you have kind of produced, that you have gotten out from the internet, or from brainstorming. You're going to put them on the page. Okay, so you're going to start, this is going to be the material that you're going to use in your piece of writing. And by piece of writing, I would mean it starts with a paragraph and it ends with an essay in for our present purposes. Okay, we're doing essays in this course, right? Okay, so you now have the material that you got from the internet and from brainstorming. Okay, it has been filtered because you cannot obviously use everything, and then you start working with it. Okay, so
Doctor.
yes, go ahead.
What's relevant?
Relevance, and relevant means that if I ask you to write about something, you don't talk about a totally different thing. Like, okay, like I told you, for example, you are at home and you ordered food. Okay, you ordered chicken, and when the guy came, he gives you, for example, meat or beef. Okay, is he relevant? What did you order?
Yes.
You ordered chicken, right?
Chicken, yeah.
So okay, but you got what? You got
Beef.
beef. Is that correct?
No.
Is that relevant?
Yes.
It's not
No.
relevant. It's not relevant. No, it's not relevant, right?
No. Yeah.
Okay, so in an exam or a quiz, I ask you for beef. So what is it that you should give me back? Beef or chicken?
Beef.
Beef, right? If you give me chicken, it means that you're irrelevant, right?
Yes.
And you get a
Right.
zero, right? And you don't
Yes.
come back to me and say, so what is it that you want, Yahi? I gave you what you want. I said, no, you didn't give me what I want.
Yes.
I ordered beef and you got me chicken, for example. It's the same idea. In writing,
Oh,
right? In writing, you look at the title, you look at what we are asking you to do, and then you give us what we ask you to do. If you don't, you have yourself to blame, right?
yes.
Okay.
Right.
So
Doctor, I have a question, please.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Nawaf Al-Khair. How complex is going to be the essays? Like
Uh, it,
the subjects, is it
I'll
going
give
to
you
be
everything.
complex or?
I'll give you everything, if you just wait. Okay. I will come to that. We'll come to everything, inshallah. You don't have to worry. Just don't jump the gun, like the Americans say. Are you
Okay.
familiar with this expression?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So again, where are we? Remember, we have 3 steps or 3 stages. Where are we? Are we in the first step, the second step, or the third step? What stage are we in? I'm asking you.
Second,
The second one. Okay. What do we call the second step or the second stage?
Provide you.
While writing or during writing, right? Okay.
Right.
So actually, we are now writing. Okay. Do we have material? Where did we get our material?
from research and
Uh,
brainstorming.
Excellent. From brainstorming and from research. Excellent. Okay. So we're trying to establish the fact that you can, if somebody asks you to write something, you don't just go and write right away, right?
Right.
But
okay.
by brainstorming and doing research, you're obviously preparing, you're planning. And planning is very
Yes.
important, whether we're talking about writing or any other thing, right? Okay.
Right.
Fine. So now that we have the material, we're going to start to write. I need to perhaps go back to the question that I am being asked. Okay, and I need to check the title of the question. Sometimes you call it the title, and sometimes we call it the prompt, the essay prompt. Prompt means something that would trigger ideas at the back of your mind. Okay, I go back, and then based on the wording of the question, I'm going to choose the format of writing. Okay, you can be asked to write a paragraph, or you can be asked to write an essay, but you have different types of essays, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you have descriptive essays where you need to describe something. Sometimes you have what we call narrative essays where you need to narrate. Narrate means that you tell a story or you recount an experience. This is called narrative. Sometimes you have reflective essays. Reflective essays means that they give you a situation and they ask you to reflect on, to think about it deeply, and then give them your impressions about it. So as you can see, we have different types of writing. And what determines whether to use this type of writing or that type of writing? How can I know? Where should I go in order to say, oh, listen, I'm going to write a descriptive essay or an argumentative essay or a narrative essay? Where should I go in
From
order? Yeah,
Based on the
from the
question,
question.
excellent. You go back to the question and read it very well. Excellent. That's good. Okay, nice. Okay, so you know that you're going to describe. or you're going to write a narrative essay or whatever the case is. Okay, so you're writing an essay. And when I say the word essay, what comes to your mind? Let me ask you this question. What are the associations of the word essay? So what ideas come to your mind when I say the word essay?
Article.
Yeah, more or less like an article. What's an article? And this is going to be the second question.
Like
Paragraphs, maybe?
Yeah, perhaps if, yeah. It's always good to, whenever you're asked questions, if you make comparisons, ideas can be even clearer. But if you tell me, for example, in terms of format, an essay is longer than a paragraph. So I know that you know what an essay is, right? If you tell me, for example, an essay is a number of paragraphs long, right?
Yes,
So this is in terms of form, right? I'm not talking about the content. I'm not talking about the ideas. Okay? So if you decide to write an essay, you need to know that it is divided into paragraphs. Okay? We have standard essays. You can have a 3-paragraph essay, and this is a standard. You can have a 5-paragraph essay, and this is another standard. Okay, sometimes they ask you things in between, for example, 4 paragraphs or okay, but normally standard essays are either 3-paragraph long or 5-paragraph long. Okay, right. So now you know that the material that you got will be divided into over the paragraphs that you have, right? Okay, okay. If you're writing essays, also it has rules. You know how to, I mean, you have to start in a certain way, and you have to also end in a certain way, and between the beginning and the end, something has to go in the middle, right? So what do we call the first paragraph of an essay? We call it an introduction, which is typical. Yeah, excellent. Let's focus on the introduction. So you have an introduction, okay? You have what we call a body, where you have a number of paragraphs, and then you have a conclusion. Conclusion means that you're saying bye to your readers, right?
Yes.
So your introduction is
Conclusion where you are giving your thoughts.
absolutely okay. I like analogies and I like comparisons. Okay, so an essay is exactly like giving a presentation. Actually, an essay is a presentation, but in writing, right?
Yeah. Right,
Okay.
right.
When you walk into a room in order to present, aren't you going to say "Assalamu alaikum," "Hi," what else do you say? Good morning? Don't we?
Yeah.
Don't you start this way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you
Yes.
start?
We do.
Yes.
Don't you introduce your ideas?
Yes, we have to greet first.
Okay.
Like that.
Don't you try to be interesting so that people can stay until the end of the presentation?
Yes.
Right? Okay. This
Yes.
is exactly what you're supposed to do in the introduction. And it is called an introduction. Introduction means that you introduce. So what is it that you are introducing? You're introducing yourself, you're introducing your topic, right? You're
Yes.
introducing how you're going to address and talk about your topic. Okay, this is called an introduction, and it applies to all human activities. And writing is a human activity, make no mistake about it, right? Okay,
Right.
so we're
Right.
focused now on the introduction, where we're trying to appeal to the reader. We want, I mean, we have a plan. Our plan is to sustain the interest of the reader until the end. You don't want to lose your audience or your reader after reading the first paragraph or the second paragraph. You want him or her to stay with you until the end. Can we mute the mic, please? Excuse me, can we mute the mic? Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
So the introduction. In the introduction, people normally rephrase or reword the question. If you have a question and the question has the topic or the subject matter, so in the introduction, you reword it or rephrase it. It means that you write it, but in your own words. Okay, is that it? Now, this would take a line, right? Or a sentence. No, this is not the end of it. Okay. You also need, like I said, to grab and draw the attention of your reader. Okay. So
Okay.
you need to grab the attention of your reader by using something that appeals, that makes your reader like what you're saying. Okay, we have studied the essays that people write, and we came up with a number of attention grabbers. Would you like to know about them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
sometimes you give perhaps a Quranic verse, ayah, that is very significant, that is of course relevant to what you're saying. A part of a hadith, for example, a wise saying. Are you getting a famous quote by a famous person? Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes.
these are ways as how you can attract the attention of your reader. So now that you have attracted his or her attention, you want to sustain his interest. Sustain means that you need to keep him focused on you, right? You don't want him to lose.
Right.
You don't want him or her to lose. The interest that you have built in him or her. So again, an attention grabber. You rephrase the idea or the main idea, and then you have what we call a thesis statement. A thesis statement is a statement that talks about the topic, gives the
The
topic,
outline.
and it also says how you intend to cover the idea throughout the essay. Okay. I'm just giving you, this is quick. We're going, like I said, it's not about theory. It's not about talking. It's about practicing. Okay. So we'll write and we're going to check whether you are following these things or not. If you're not following them, we alert you and then you write again. Remember this apprenticeship thing that we spoke about. This is what we're going to do. This workshop that we intend to set up in the writing class. Okay. So you said that you're going to talk in the introduction. The introduction is more or less like a contract. You know what a contract or an agreement is, ya Shabab? You know what a contract is, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in a contract or an agreement, how many sides do you have?
Two sides.
Two sides. Okay. Excellent. And they have an agreement. Okay, so it's what are the two sides that we have in our agreement? You have you as a writer, and the other side is the reader. Okay,
Yeah.
you tell him in the agreement or the contract that I'm going to tell you this and that, this and that, this and that. This is in the introduction. Okay, so your reader is going to go to the body of the essay in order to check whether you have fulfilled the terms of the agreement or not. It's like a promise that you're giving to your reader. You promise him or her to talk about this and that, this and that. Okay, this is in the introduction. Then he goes to the rest of the essay in order to check whether you have fulfilled your promise or not. Am I making sense?
Can you
Yes.
repeat that, please?
What?
Can you repeat it?
I'm not sure I heard you correctly.
Can you repeat it?
Okay. Again, I'm talking about the essay, and I am saying that the essay, especially the first paragraph or the introduction, is like an agreement between you and your reader. In the introduction, you tell him or her that I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about this in this way, in that way. Okay? Okay? Your reader, the second side of the agreement, is going to go to the rest of the essay in order to check whether you fulfilled your promise or not. You said I'm going to talk about Riyadh in the introduction. Okay, and then I went to the rest of the essay and I kept looking for Riyadh and I didn't find anything about Riyadh. In this case, you broke your promise, right? In this case, I can take you to court or, or I gave you low marks, right?
Yes.
Because you're not being relevant also, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So now that you have said what you said in the introduction, I go to the rest of the paragraphs. I go to the body. The body is where the ideas are explained, where you explain stuff, where you give examples in order to clarify things. You start an argument and then defend it. Okay. And then after you have finished, you go to the conclusion, right? So the conclusion is what I call the bye-bye paragraph, right? You started with Salamu Alaikum, right? And you're ending with bye,
Bye.
right?
Goodbye. Yeah.
Isn't that logical enough?
Right now.
Uh, okay, so in the conclusion, let's agree on that. Let's agree on the fact that our memories are very short. We have, as human beings, you have weak memories. We don't remember everything, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Okay. So in the conclusion, yeah, Gamal, somebody is using, excuse me. No, this is not working, please. Please mute your mic. Okay. So again, we're talking about the conclusion and we're saying that our memories are very short. So that's why we have the conclusion, because the conclusion sums up the ideas that you have presented in the introduction and also in the body paragraphs. Okay, as a writer, I'm trying to make sure that you go out of the essay with something. Okay, if I depend on the on the body paragraph, you may forget. That's why I sum up the whole idea in the conclusion. Okay, sometimes I even rephrase the topic. We'll talk about the conclusion in a separate class, but you're getting the idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay, should I present new ideas in the conclusion? What do you think?
No. No.
No,
Absolutely
No.
not.
no.
Why? Why? For two reasons. The first reason is that I'm summing up everything because people are forgetful, because people have short memories, and also because if I introduce new ideas, I need to elaborate and expand on them. I need to explain them. Do I have the time or the space?
No.
No.
It's the conclusion.
Yeah.
Right? I'm finishing things off. How can I introduce new ideas if I'm finishing things off? Right?
Right.
So
Right.
it's only logical that with conclusions you only recap or summarize ideas. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the story of writing, if you will. This is what we do whenever people ask us to do, to engage in writing. Lots of us do them intuitively and instinctively and without thinking about it, and they do them very well from the first time, and that's good. But other people, like me and perhaps some people in class, need to learn and develop those ideas. Then after a while, when they write, they do it automatically. Again, remember the analogy of the car. When you first write, when you first drive, you feel everything, right? You, I mean, the wheelchair and the brakes. You're conscious of everything. Over time, because you have practiced driving over and over again, perhaps after a month or perhaps two, perhaps after a year, you drive half asleep, right? Of
Right.
course, you're
That's
running the risk of having an
a
accident,
car
la
accident.
samah Allah. But you I mean, what I'm trying to say is that you can be very exhausted, but you can still drive very well because of the practice that you have done, perhaps over the months, over the years. This is what we exactly do with writing. We practice, 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 and at the end, our writing gets better and we become better writers. Okay, so this was, okay, let's move to the book itself. So every time we have the book, we're going to have 3 parts. Okay, the 3 parts that I'm talking about is, one of them is going to be called Introduction to Writing, where there is going to be tips and pieces of advice as how you can write. And then the second part would be writing strategies, also about tools and tactics that you can use while writing. And then the third and the last stage would be editing, the editing guide. And by now, you know what editing means. So I finished writing and I used writing strategies. And now, before I submit my work, I need to edit my work. Edit would mean that I check the whole paragraph or the whole essay for errors. Okay, and those errors could be mechanical errors. By mechanical, I would mean spelling, grammar, punctuation, or even rhetorical errors. Rhetorical means that perhaps a paragraph should uh, go forward or go backward. The transition between the paragraphs is not very smooth. These are abstract things, things that you have to think about very deeply. Okay, so editing would include a mechanical part that has to do with the spelling and the grammar, and also a rhetorical part that has to do with the flow, with the smoothness and the transition of your essay. Do I make sense? Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good,
Yes, you do.
good.
Yes.
Okay. I think it wouldn't be strange, it wouldn't be new to you when I say, for example, that EL117 is a practical course, right? It's a practical course. So
Yes, of course.
it's not about listening to me every class and that would be it. Listening is good, but this is not what is going to get you to yeah, perhaps a better level in writing. You need to try your hand. You need to also make errors and mistakes and learn from them. You need to have a master where you are the apprentice. You make errors and we highlight the errors, and you go back and you correct them. Okay, so it wouldn't be strange if we say that EL117 academic writing is a practical course that requires full participation in all class activities and regular attendance to classes, right? Together with doing assignments and homework. Okay, we're going to have something called peer review. Peer review means that I might ask Nawaf, for example, to take the essay of somebody else and look at it and edit and proofread it. And then I take the essay of Nawaf and give it to Mayada or Ola or whoever, and then I ask her to edit it and give me the errors and the mistakes. So people start to learn from each other. Okay?
Yes.
So
Is
this is
there a
called,
rubric that we're going to follow when we are assessing each other?
yeah, of course, we're going to use a rubric.
That
Of
will be
A
very useful
rubric.
for us.
Yeah,
inshallah, inshallah.
that's very
So,
useful.
so this is going
Can
to
you?
be, yeah.
I have another question. Can you please explain the resources that we have to use on LMS, if you can, at the end?
Yeah, I will. I will. I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So what we're saying is called peer reviewing. It's also called peer correction. So where your peer is means your colleague, where your colleague is going to correct you and you correct him or her. Okay. Again, if I talk about peer reviewing and peer correction, I cannot ignore the idea of feedback. Feedback means that you don't just look at my work and say, ah, it's nice, or it's not nice, right? So you have to
Yes.
justify why it is nice and why it is not nice.
You have to
So
give the
it's not,
reason, no?
you have to give reasons, and this is called feedback. You made an error here, you made a mistake there, you could have said this instead of saying that. It's about engaging in a conversation with each other about the errors, and believe me, if you do that, you're not likely to make the same mistake or the same mistakes the next time. Okay. So it's an ebook that we have. We don't have a physical book. It's an ebook, and it should be also available on LMS. So this ebook, and by ebook, it doesn't mean that it is small. Ebooks are big.
Yes.
Again, it's not about whether it is physical, whether it's a hard copy or a soft copy. At the end, we have content inside, and we're trying to get guided by the content inside. Okay, so again, we're going to talk about different essay modes. We're going to talk about different essay types: narrative, prose, persuasion, comparison, and contrast. Okay, these are all called essay types: narrative, prose, persuasion, comparison, and contrast, together with the post the post writing tools, which, like I said, we have self-editing, we have peer reviewing, we have all those types of things that we do after we finish writing.
Please, doctor.
Yes.
What's narrative?
Narrative means to tell a story or to recount an experience. Is that clear?
Tell stories.
What?
Tell stories mean.
To tell a story is to if you went out in the market and you met a friend and you went to a restaurant together and you had a nice meal, you come back to your family and you tell them about it. This is a story. Okay. Okay, so again, the ebook is divided into 3 parts, like we said. You always have introduction to writing as part 1, and then part 2 is writing strategies, and part 3 is the editing guide. So in the introduction to writing, you have 3 chapters that review the most important aspects and methods of creating your own writing environment. By the end of this stage, you will be able to write well-organized sentences and paragraphs and essays. And we're going to deal with writing as a process where it has steps that you have to follow until you produce a good piece of work. And then we move to the second part, which is about the strategies. And it has 4 chapters, and it presents 4 rhetorical essay patterns. What are those essay patterns? Like I said, you have narrative, you have process, you have persuasion, and you have compare and contrast. Okay, so these are modes that you have to think about when you read the question, or you need to check whether you're asked to write a narrative essay or a process. Process means steps. Sometimes you know the manuals that we have. If you have a washing machine, a new washing machine, you have a manual that would describe the process that would take you and walk you through the process of installing your washing machine and operating it. This is called a process. For example, if you're signing up uh, um, for perhaps Twitter or a new Twitter account or a new Facebook account, you go through stages, right? The first step would be to go to the website, and the second stage would be to enter your perhaps your name, or right. You have steps until you finish. This is called the process. And then persuasion means that you're trying to get somebody to agree with you on an issue, or to not to agree on something because you also don't agree on it. And then of course you know what compare and contrast is, right? Is that clear enough? And of course, with the editing guide, we talk about the editing activities that we're going to be engaged in. You edit spelling, you edit words, you edit the mechanics, whether they are punctuation, grammar, or spelling.
What is mechanics?
Mechanics is more or less like the structure, the grammar, the punctuation, the spelling. All of them is mechanics. Can we, excuse me, can you mute your mic? Somebody is having his or her mic on.
Doctor,
Okay.
excuse.
What?
Can you open the chat? Because someone was sent a question for you.
She can. She doesn't have a mic because we're having issues with the chat.
Yes, I think he's now not have a mic.
The problem, wallahi, is that we don't. The chat area is not functional for some reason.
You ask his question. Who's talking right now? You
What?
ask his. Talk to the guy who's reading his question. You ask his question.
If he's talking to you on the phone or something, you can take his question and perhaps tell us about it.
Okay, but I think he will leave because have an emergency now.
Type. I mean, you mean he left? If you want, I mean, just give us his name and that would be it. No problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to the yeah. So this is, by the way, the course guide, and it has and then somebody was asking me about what the course includes in terms of material. This is what so it's academic writing, EL117, and the online material would be an electronic course textbook by the name of Right Now. I don't know why we don't have the E. I don't know whether this is an error or not. Right, so Right Now is the main book, and it's electronic. And then online interactive activities, and we're going to post them on the LMS. And of course, the course guide that we are reading from right now. We have a number of additional reading that we can always agree on. Okay, they are all books that you can use from time to time, but the focus would be on our book right now. Okay, and we of course we have tons of online resources that we can go back to. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the assessment. And by assessment, of course, evaluation. When we talk about assessment, we talk about the quizzes and the essay, the exams that you should do so that you can get the 100 mark of the course. So we have what we call continuous assessment. Continuous means something that stays with you throughout the course. Okay, so continuous assessment. You have what we call an electronic portfolio. So what's a portfolio, everyone?
Like a file.
Yeah, excellent. Of course, it's not going to be. It means that we're going to put together your different assignments, your different attempts, and every time you add something or contribute something, we give you a mark for it. This is going to be to account for 50% of the total mark. So 50% is going to be on electronic portfolio. And of course, our electronic portfolio, like we said, are a number of quizzes. And those quizzes can be, either editing, we give you something to edit, or we give you something to write. And sometimes we give you both. We ask you to write and edit, and perhaps on some occasions we're going to ask you to make an outline of the essay. An outline, of course, comes before the essay. An outline is like a plan that you make. Okay, and then when we're done with the electronic portfolio that accounts for 50% of the mark, we move to the final assessment or the final exam, and it's also out of 50, where you will have an essay. We ask you to write an essay, perhaps 400 to 450 words on a given topic, together with lots of other things, like editing and stuff. By the way, the idea of having 50 and 50 is not final. Okay, so they might people are meeting as we speak, and they may come up with a different assessment and with a different mark breakdown. Okay, so be prepared. Of course, the electronic portfolio, which is out of 50, is divided into smaller quizzes and writing pieces. Okay, whether they're going to change this 50 or not.
Which one will do higher, the final or continuous assessment?
If you ask me, the continuous assessment should be higher, but normally it's either 50-50 or perhaps 40, and then you have 60 in the final. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, we don't have to worry about this part yet. It's very early in the course, and we don't have a problem with that. Okay, so this is the course calendar, and it is divided or is broken down in terms of weeks. In week, this is what I've been doing in week 1. I've been walking you through the course. It's our expectations and yours. What is it that we're going to do? What essays are? The different parts and components of the essay. These are the idea of relevance. These are things that we have been talking about. So as you can see in week 1, this is the introduction, and then we move to part 1. and we talk about paragraphs and essays and the difference between them. There is going to be a structural or a grammar part where we talk about how to write complete sentences, what a topic sentence is, how to write thesis statements, and how to write and develop paragraphs using words, transition words, and stuff like that. Okay, and then we're going to be to have a home assignment every time, I mean. In week 2, we'll have another chapter, obviously. Again, we're going to move to writing multi-paragraph essays. Again, the writing process itself and what goes into it. And then we will have some online exercises. Okay, and I don't think it's a good idea. Giving we'll meet them anyway. But this is obviously the course calendar in terms of content, in terms what goes into the different weeks. Okay, so clear enough, everyone?
Yes, but I have
Yes,
one
doctor.
question.
Okay.
When I downloaded the PowerPoint slides, it says on the first one that we're going to use, or the PowerPoint slides are from a book called Writing to Communicate. Are we going to use that on only Write New or something? The new book?
No, the new book is called Right Now. Okay.
Right now. Yeah.
The other book is the old book. And by the way, in order to write well, you wouldn't. I mean, the idea of sticking to one single book is, it's okay. I mean, if we have slides and they serve our purposes, they tell us how to do stuff. That's fine. We're open. We're open to all the sources. That's why we have a list of resources from outside, right? So consider the slides that you have skimmed through a source that you can use every time you think that you need to perhaps have an answer for this or that writing concern or question. Okay, we don't want to kind of worry about the book or what goes into the book, because it's all writing. And like we said, we need it to be more vibrant, we need it to be more interactive, and we need it to also be a workshop where people really write. They don't just listen to people talking about writing. Okay, so if you catch me talking writing, ask me, tell me, listen, you've been talking about writing, and this is not actually what we want. We want to write. Okay, is that clear enough?
Yes.
Doctor?
Yes.
I entered another doctor, but I am the section 1301.
What's the problem?
I enter in Dr. Mohsen. Yes.
ممتاز. Good.
Yes. I confused. Sorry.
لا don't worry. انت يعني you're with us ولا with Dr. محسن؟
No, with you.
طيب اهلا وسهلا. What's your name?
روان علي.
Rawan. Hi Rawan, it's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Okay.
دكتور
Yes.
أنت أخذت حضور؟
Okay. What's your name?
أماني الحاشم.
Amani Al-Hashim, صح?
Yes.
Okay. You would like to leave or something?
Yes.
طيب, it's okay, Amani. Okay, no problem. Okay. Guys, let me just alert you to the fact that I don't want you to come to class because of attendance. Of course, I'm not talking about Amani. I'm talking in general. Don't come to class because it's attendance that I'm taking. Come to class because you want to benefit. Come to class because you want me to turn you around in writing. Okay? So again, attending the writing class is not about attending and not about taking perhaps the attendance marks. There is obviously more to writing or to the writing class than just attending and listening. Okay, okay, let's move somewhere else.
Doctor,
Well, yes, yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Can you see the slides?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, good. So somebody was asking or kind of calling me from the end of the flat. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. So perhaps some. Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
sorry, but you are responsible for which section? Like شعبة, I don't know in English
The
exactly.
section, you mean to say the section?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, 1301.
Is it one or
One.
two, Shabab? Is it one?
Yes, one.
One.
It's one.
1301.
Yeah,
Yes,
because I'm
one.
confused. I don't know. You are responsible for this section or Dr. Muhsin for another.
This is my class every Tuesday at 4 p.m.
Okay,
Doctor, this is
1301,
section
yeah?
1301, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
You
Okay,
are.
I'm with you.
Doctor,
Yes.
the class every Tuesday?
Inshallah.
Every week, yeah.
Every week. Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So let's go back to. Wait. I think you can see that, right? Can you see the? Can you see the PowerPoint?
We are
Yes.
seeing the word still, I guess. The word.
The word
Document.
what?
The
No,
word
it's,
document.
it shouldn't be there anymore. Is it still there? The word document?
For me, yeah, it
No.
is.
Okay,
Yes.
let me just, how about now? How about now?
No.
No.
It disappeared.
Nothing showing up.
Okay, okay, okay,
There's no screen.
okay, okay.
No.
Mm, mm. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Thank
Yes.
you.
So, okay. So by the end of this course, you will be able to build different types of sentences, paragraphs, and essays. Okay, this is nothing new. Outline and plan your writing. Okay. Paraphrase, summarize, and reference your writing. That's okay. By referencing, of course, if you're going to do research and if you're going to use outside sources, you have to credit the people that you're using, whose work you're using. Because if you don't do that, you're going to be accused of plagiarism, and you know what plagiarism means by.
Yes.
Now we know that it's not yours, so we're trying to make you avoid that by knowing how to write. Why do people plagiarize? Why do people copy and paste? It's simply because they don't
They have no
know how.
ideas.
It's not about ideas. Yeah, is it Mayada that or Ola or I don't know.
No, Ilaf.
Ilaf. So it's not about knowledge. It's not about content as much as it is about not knowing how to write. You can have material enough in your mind. You have studied long and well enough, but you don't know how to write. Okay, so if you don't know how to write, what is it that you're going to do? You're going to leave, the assignment empty? No, you ask a friend or you ask somebody to write for you. And this is, of
Yes,
course,
in school, we didn't write enough. We didn't
yeah,
practice write enough.
that's excellent. Yeah, this is actually what happened in schools. The fact that the focus is not on writing, perhaps the focus is on memorizing
About
stuff.
grammar or
Yes,
memorize,
yes,
just that.
excellent insight. What's your name? What's your name?
Rawan.
Rawan what?
Rawan Ali.
Rawan is, yeah, what Rawan is saying is very insightful. This is actually what is happening in schools. The fact that the focus is on theory, on
Doctor,
yes, go ahead.
what we should write? Just paragraph?
You mean throughout the course?
It means all the book.
Yeah, it's about, we're going to start off with paragraphs and we're going to end up with essays. Okay, we're going to talk about the difference between a paragraph and an essay, what the difference is, and how to write both, inshallah. Okay. Can we?
So, Doctor, what would you say is the foundation stones of good writing? Because whenever I think, I don't know if somebody shared the same problem with me, but whenever I take an IELTS test, writing is the lowest mark. I can get an 8 in listening and speaking, but when it comes to writing, I can get of 6.5. So why do you think that is? And what is the foundation stones of good writing?
Well, you know something. What's your name first?
My name is Hela.
Hala. Yes, my friend.
Yes.
Okay, so actually, writing is not as easy as the other skills. Writing also has perhaps a creative streak or sense to it. It's about being able to it's about mastering all the previous skills, and then you come to the writing, which is a culmination of all the other skills. Writing, this is what I keep saying. To teach writing, it takes a writer. Yeah. Sometimes people engage in theory about writing and they forget to write. Or perhaps they
Yes.
take it for granted that if their speaking is excellent and if their listening skills are excellent, writing would be a piece of cake. But when they go to the exam,
Mhm.
it becomes it's different. Writing, like I said, it's remember when we first started and we said that we have stages that we have to go through, right? Writing in
Yes.
exams and standardized exams like IELTS are writing is about two things. It's about content and also about mechanics. Content would
Doctor,
have to do, yes, yes.
I think I say like a burger. You must
Eat it all.
eat. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not
You
sure.
must, yeah,
Yes,
you
I like the
must,
analogy. I
get a
like
break and
analogies.
yeah.
I told you about this. It's always good to provide examples and give and make comparisons. And what's your name again?
Maha,
Maha. Maha what?
Maha Salami.
I like what Maha is saying. It's she's obviously comparing writing to a burger, a piece of burger, or perhaps a whole burger. Go ahead. Give us the full comparison. Go ahead, yeah, Maha.
I think it's like a burger when
Mhm.
you when you when you start to write a say, you must have all the like grammar, like how to make what how to make the one body or the second body. What else? Like this.
Yeah, right. So you mean yeah. So the introduction would be the catch-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be the first bun.
Yeah, because
The upper bun.
you didn't can eat without ketchup or without mayonnaise or without bread.
Right. That's a nice refreshment. We needed it. Okay, let me go back to. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Hala.
Hannah, yeah.
Yes. I was saying that again. Sometimes it's what we call self-flattery. Self-flattery. It means that you flatter yourself by saying, "Yeah, my English is excellent. My speaking is excellent. So when I go to the exam, I don't need to do." I don't have to do enough preparation or.
No, I practice, but there's nothing to give me. There's no one to give me feedback on my writing. There's a
I
lot of
will.
websites to help you with speaking and listening, but
Yes.
nobody helps you with writing.
Yeah. Excellent. This is an excellent idea.
And actually, in my previous classes in the university, this is my first year here, and I kept asking about feedback, but nobody provided feedback at the end, like at the final exam. Like, what did I do wrong? What was my error? And there was no feedback, so I could not improve. And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen here as well.
Inshallah. Inshallah not.
Inshallah not. Yeah.
Inshallah will give you all the feedback that you want and a dash extra. How about that?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
What's online and plan your writing? Not understand. Outline and plan your writing.
Outline and plan. These are some of the skills that we're going to develop in you, ya Ahmed. I think you're Ahmed, and I think I know you very well, right? You did EL112 and EL118 with me, right? Am I correct? Okay. Yeah, you don't remember, but I remember. Anyway, so outlining and okay, so we both of us remember, which is obviously good news. So outlining and planning your writing, like I said, these are two very important skills that we're going to learn together. So outlining means that before you write, you also have to make an outline of your essay. An outline would be like if you have a building, before you put for example, the bricks, and you put stuff inside, you have to come up with a skeleton, the structure of the building. So this is called an outline, and then you fill it in with things. So your essay is like a building that has a structure or a skeleton, and then you fill it out. And this is what we're going to learn, how to write outlines and how to plan our writing, what goes where and why. Okay, these are some of the skills. Yes.
Can I talk?
Yes. Yes.
I have a problem with writing, and I don't have many sentences when you start writing.
Well, again, writing is about writing. Like I keep saying, writing is about writing means that if you write a lot, and if you write often, you're going to overcome this problem of vocabulary poverty.
Yeah. I have a problem with the vocab.
Yes. When we engage in writing and we ask you to write things, you're going to read about it, and then when you read, your vocab items get bigger. So you don't have to worry about that. We'll handle that.
You should do practice and make a lot of vocabulary.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Again, these are the three parts that the book has: introduction to writing, writing strategies, and editing, and the editing guide. Of course, we meet every week for 2 hours, and over the week, we need to keep the conversation going. I mean, I don't want you to finish from here and then forget all about the class and then come next week, empty-handed. Well, I would like to engage you in writing, and we're going to start from today. I'm going to give you an assignment, and I'll ask you to write and send to me, and then I'll have it corrected and marked, and then when we come, inshallah, next week, we can always have material to talk about. We talk about the errors, we talk about the mistakes.
I have a question.
Okay.
I do write, but the thing is, when I write, I kind of forget. I know big words, but I don't know how to use it in writing. So
Again, what's your name?
Ala Yusuf.
Yeah, Ola, perhaps you don't write enough. You don't write often, yeah, Ola. That's why whatever ideas you have, whatever vocab items you have, you keep them in your mind. And if you don't use them, you lose them. You use or lose. Well, of course, you know this rule. Use it or lose it.
Yes.
Right?
Doctor?
Yes.
Is there a homework? Is there a
Yes.
homework?
Inshallah. What's your name?
I don't know.
Rana. Yeah. I'll before I leave, we're going to write an essay.
Doctor.
A three, perhaps. Wait. Let me finish. Let me finish. Okay. So I would like you to write an essay. An essay. I mean, you have to either use the standard, the three paragraph essay as a standard. So let me finish. So it's either 3 paragraphs or 5 paragraphs that I want you to write. And I would like you to perhaps, would you like me to give you a topic, or you choose your own topic?
Give us a topic.
You give us, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
you give us
Before,
some
be-
topic
before,
Our
before,
topic, doctor.
yeah, before I forget it, Imam, I would like a volunteer. I would like somebody to create a WhatsApp group for us. Okay. You now have my. I need the. Who's going to be the admin of the group?
I'll be.
What's your name?
Ala.
Ola. So Ola is going to create a WhatsApp group. You guys have my number already, right?
Can you give that to me right now, please?
Teacher, can you give us?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you give it to me?
Doctor.
Yes. I'm not.
Paragraph.
I'm not done with this procedural idea of creating a group. Okay, let me finish it first. So, okay, so the group is educational, which means I don't want people to post i'lanat or jokes or okay, or very strange smileys. We would like to keep it educational, and we would like to keep our Arabic to a minimum. Okay, it can be a good chance for us to practice our English.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so I'm not going to give you the topic now. I'll give you the topic on the group. When Ola creates the group, I'll send you the topic. You have the choice. You have the choice of either choosing your own topic or wait. Okay, I'll share it on the group. Okay, so Ola is going to create the group today, and we can always I can always give you the
Okay,
topic.
can you give me a number?
What?
WhatsApp
So
number.
and this is going to be. I don't know how. Yeah, Ola, how are you going to get their number? Perhaps you can share your number with them, yeah, Ola.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
good
then,
idea, doctor.
yes.
Yeah,
Share
okay,
your.
I'm gonna share my number, but you first give me a number so I can create the group right now.
Okay.
Okay. Let's share your number, please.
But how can they share their number? We don't have a chat area.
I will create it now and I'll give them.
Yeah,
We
and
have
you
many other
create it
groups
now.
of EL117.
Doctor,
And yes, yes.
I have your number.
Okay, good.
I have your.
الحمد لله. دلوقتي اموت وانا مستريح. الحمد لله. Okay. By the way, this is this is being recorded, and you're getting me fired.
I think you should stop the recording.
Okay, okay, guys, I'm gonna give you my number so everyone can be added on WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay. Any more questions before we call it a night?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
What about the attendant?
What about it? Like I told you, the class is being recorded, so I have your list of names all the time. Okay.
But I signed as a guest.
Your
Doctor,
names
but
are being recorded.
And
yeah, but I
what
signed
about
as a guest.
I didn't
I
get
signed
that.
as a guest. I didn't write my username.
But why not?
Because I signed as a guest.
What?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Sorry?
What's your name?
Sarah.
Okay, Sarah what?
Sharif.
Sarah Sharif. Okay.
Me
Who
too,
else?
I'm Ala Yusuf.
Sarah Sharif, but you also
Sarah.
you're also not. I mean, the other one said me too. Are you also Sarah Sharif?
No, I'm saying me too. I just wrote Ala Yusuf.
Okay, Ala Yusuf.
So.
Yeah.
Shall I say my username or
I'm gonna
something?
create the group.
It's okay. I mean, just tell us your name, and we're going to. I mean, we have the recording. Don't worry.
Okay, so you have you can check my name, doctor.
Yes, yes, we can.
My text is 2310. I think I am with Dr. Mohsen.
Okay.
It's okay if I speak with you?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, my name is Iman.
Iman what? Iman Sharif?
Iman Chapter. No.
What? Okay.
Iman, yeah.
Okay, Iman. Who else?
Okay, who's gonna create the group WhatsApp?
Okay. So if you guys don't have any questions,
Doctor.
No,
I have a question.
Okay.
Doctor.
Quickly. Yes.
Can you check my name?
Yeah. Tell me your name.
My name is Majid.
Majid
Ghalab
what?
Al-Harbi.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, Yamak. Your name is recorded.
Thank you,
How are you going to submit the homework?
I'll give you all the details on the WhatsApp group.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Perhaps
Who's
within
gonna
2
make the
days.
WhatsApp group if I don't have your number?
My
yes,
number?
but we need all a number.
Okay. Wait, can everyone mute? Can I just say my number so everyone can write it?
Okay.
Okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
056.
Doctor, can I go?
Go, please.
Guys, wait for the group WhatsApp.
Wait.
056.
Okay.
560 949 358. Just send me EL117 so I can add you.
Can you repeat the number again?
Can you repeat, Ola, please?
Can you say it one? Can you say it one more time, yeah, Ola?
0560
Okay.
949
Okay.
358.
358.
So
Okay.
just send me with the course's name, EL17, and I'll add you.
What's your name?
Arla.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ola.
Doctor,
On
do you
this note,
request my name?
no, I mean, if you have signed in with your name, so it should be there. If not, you just say it and it gets recorded, and this is how we're going to take attendance.
So, Doctor, can I go?
Doctor.
Yeah, please go.
Okay, thank you.
Doctor.
Yes.
Doctor?
Now we're going,
voice.
we're
So
going
can I
to
go?
end. Yeah, please go. We're going to end this press conference.
Doctor, sorry.
Okay, thank you so much, teacher.
One more question. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know what about the voice. I don't know what's
What
the
voice?
problem.
Voice kids or voice words? Which voice? I mean, you have a problem with the voice? You cannot hear me properly?
Yeah,
Can
it's not, the voice is not clear.
well, if it's clear with everyone, it means that you have a problem. Please check
She
with the
must have a
others.
connection problem.
Sorry,
think-
doctor.
If it's fine with everyone, you have to, from time to time, to go out and come back. Perhaps that would fix the problem.
Sorry, doctor. I just have one more
Okay.
question.
Inshallah.
Oh,
Inshallah,
inshallah.
next time it will be, inshallah, clear.
Inshallah.
So my name is Naba
Can-
Al-Habshi, okay?
Nada Al-Habshi. Okay, Nada. Thank you so much.
Not
Dr.
not
Mina
Naba.
Fawzia
Can
Sharif.
anybody repeat the number?
Naba.
Naba. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Can anybody
Thank you so
repeat the
much.
number of Ula?
Ola?
Yes.
Teacher, can I leave now?
Yeah, please leave now.
Can somebody repeat the
Yes,
number of
number
Ula?
Ula. Number Ula.
My name is Rahma.
056.
05 what?
Good.
6.
056.
Okay.
09.
Okay.
4.
4
Yeah. 9.
9
358.
358. Okay, thank you.
أعيد الرقم.
Oh my God. 056.
أيوة.
Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Thank you, Doctor.